Hello once again, everybody, and welcome to the Manny Diaz Show. Joe Zagacki and Don Bailey Jr., University of Miami head coach Manny Diaz. This weekend, the Hurricanes home at Hard Rock Stadium to take on the Wolfpack of North Carolina State. A 7:30 kickoff, a big game. North Carolina State is ranked 18th in the country. They've won 5 in a row. Joined now by University of Miami head coach Manny Diaz. Coach, another tough one at North Carolina, but your team showed an awful lot of heart and passion.
Yeah, we dug ourselves a hole, and then, again, the resiliency, the mental toughness of our team to come back and had a drive there at the end, very similar to the Virginia game where you got a chance to win, and guys were making all the plays. I mean, it really felt like it was right there to win it or tie it at the at the worst case scenario, and I think everybody felt like we'd have won the game in overtime if we'd have gone on. Got a bad break on a tip ball, and those are the breaks that are going against us right now. What we got to identify are the things that get us to that point. We don't have to rely on a bad break on the last play of the game to victory. There's a lot of things we can do in the previous 59 to make us a lot more difficult to beat, and that's our focus this week.
Coach, Tyler Van Dyke getting his second start, his first start on the road. But when you look at how he performed against Virginia, the first half, very, very quiet, very low production. Same thing happened on the road, North Carolina, and then both games, he seems to somewhat almost explode. Have you been able to put your finger on what the cause of that is or how to remedy that issue?
Yeah, it's a rookie quarterback. That's what we have to remember. We went from Derek King and all of his great accomplishments and his experience level to Tyler Van Dyke, who is right now doing on-the-job training, and he's been, his courage. The way he's finished games, his toughness, his ability to make plays with his arm and his feet has been outstanding. But with young guys, sometimes the speed of the game and the speed of a new scheme every week takes a while to get used to. And you can see some of his throws in the first half where he's, not really ripping it. And he knows that once he realizes he can get out there and just let it rip and trust his throws and trust his reads, we were as good on offense in the second part of that game as we've been all year.
We should probably mention, this would probably be a good time to mention, kind of a regroup here, that you have lost your starting quarterback. You did lose your backup quarterback or a backup quarterback. So you're never really able to figure out between Jake Garcia and Tyler who would win that battle. You lost a starting running back and another guy that could have been a starting running back, your starting center, and your starting left guard. That's just on offense. So that's a lot of bullets to lose.
Yeah, that's where we're at. Obviously, North Carolina wouldn't be the same team without Sam Howell, and Virginia wouldn't be the same team without their quarterback. But what I like about our guys is that they don't use that as an excuse. The next guy does step up, and it's going to take us a little bit different time to get ready. I think every week I think that'll become less and less of an issue as Tyler gets an idea of what college football is all about and getting in there and realizing he can make plays. He should take a lot of confidence from what he's done over these first 2 ACC games because he's given us a great chance to win in both.
An example could be Jalen Knighton. Jalen last year ends up starting the Duke game. Unfortunately, gets hurt, and then he misses 4 games this year. And there was a huge difference between him against Virginia and him against North Carolina.
Yeah, he had to get his game timing up. There was a couple plays in the Virginia game where he was really close to breaking it. He had one this game on a pass where he broke it. But let's go back to even Tyler too. A couple of Jalen's great plays came on Tyler going through his progression, just getting the ball to a back. Where if it's not up and down the field, get to a ball to a skill guy like Jalen. Jalen makes a guy miss and turns into a huge play.
A guy like Jalen, though, has to give everybody hope, right? He had 19 touches, 165 yards, 3 touchdowns. That's what you see in college football today, a guy that can give you explosive plays.
That's exactly right, and that's what we've always felt that Jalen brings, that ability to be a home run hitter. I'm also proud, though, of his grinded out runs. He had some good grinded out runs over, up the middle where not everything's going to be a touchdown. Not everything's going to be pop it to the outside and break it. So I thought in between the tackles he was very good. I thought our offensive line played their best game on Saturday, and I thought they really did a nice job opening up some holes. And Tyler, did a good job with the RPO game as the game went on, and sometimes holding some guys with his eyes and his looks. But Jalen. Jalen has got to be the man for us now in this offense. It's his time, and obviously we're young behind him, so he's going to have to be sturdy as well.
You know, Manny, Tyler mentioned in the post game the speed of the game, the adjustment of the speed of the game. And when you think about that, Joe mentioned the players that are injured, but you go on every side of the football, when you put a freshman in, that's the same story for all of them. James Williams is still adjusting to the speed of the game, let alone the movement and let it go in the down and distances and the play calls and the things that he's supposed to provide. All these young players, when you get on that field, it's a whole nother level of play, and nobody can simulate it at practice.
No, it's something else, and they've battled well. I mean, they really have. I mean, all those guys, and I mean, even look at Jacoby George and what he did as a punt returner in the game, and that's just, it's fun to watch them all. They don't all pop at the same time, you know, where they're ready, but you know, one by one, they all start to exert their influence on the game, and we need them. You know, I mean, the best version of our team involves those young guys contributing to our success.
Coach, continuing kind of on that path, I think you try to spotlight some positive things. So two things for you. One, what can you take out of the 97-yard drive? Can you boil down the 97-yard drive, go back to your young guys and say, look, here are all the great things we did on this drive? And then two, defensively, in the second half, Carolina 5 possessions, you get 4 3-and-outs. Can you look at those 3-and-outs and also pull something out of that?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, starting with the 97-yard drive, if you think about it, the drive that could have tied the game or won the game against Virginia started inside our own 10-yard line as well. So that's 2 90-plus yard fourth quarter drives that Tyler Van Dyke has led in his first 2 ever conference games. I mean, that's some rare stuff right there. So I think he had to make a huge third down play coming out of the end zone to get that drive going. It can't help but help our offense's confidence if we're put in that situation again. Defensively, as you mentioned, I mean, I thought our defensive line really got after them. They had a hard time dropping back and throwing the ball in the second half. Played very fast at 4 3-and-outs, like you mentioned. The key to winning games, though, we had a 5th 3-and-out that we got called for a roughing the passer penalty that we simply could avoid, you know, and they end up going down and scoring what ends up being their final points on that drive. And we get another 3-and-out there. It reminded me a lot of that Virginia chance to get a 3-and-out when we missed a sack on third down. Those are the plays. That's, you know, it's easy to see the missed field goal at the end of the Virginia game or the tipped interception at the end of the North Carolina game. Look, life in the ACC, the games are going to be close. You know, we played close games a year ago. We won close games a year ago. We've lost back-to-back close games. That's why we're 0-2. We could very easily be 2-0. But it's not just the last play of the game. It's a penalty on a roughing the kicker. It's a penalty on a roughing the passer. It's those type of little things that are costing us points that our players can see, and that's the inconsistency. You know, because other than that, there's a lot of things that were pretty dominant. They hardly had 100 yards in the second half. I mean, there was some dominant stuff defensively, but you got to bring it all the time. That's the whole key.
And Manny, the analytics tell you this more than anything. You give the ball away 3 times to 1, it's almost impossible to win a football game.
That's right, and it ended up being we were outscored 10-7 on turnovers, points off turnovers, and we lost the game by 3. Right. I mean, so, and really you could argue that obviously the last one took away at least 3 points for us. So, you know, I mean, that's 3 to tie it and 3 to win it.
Right.
And that's really where we're at, and that's the fine line in the ACC. It is that way. You see it every week. I mean, Clemson and Syracuse played a tight game Friday night. These games are going to be tight. So everything matters.
Along the lines of the young players, and maybe I'll leave somebody out, but James Williams, Cam Kitchens, the 3 receivers, I guess you can put Knighton in there as well. He's going to have to play more, but have guys, younger players, earn more playing time.
Yeah, absolutely. You could throw Leonard Taylor into that mix. Right. You know, LT played really well on the inside and continues to show disruption in there. You're going to have to. Yeah, I mean, we have to get younger guys. I mean, Marcus Clark has got to come in and play some for us at corner. Avante Williams will start to be incorporated back in the team with a role. I mean, it's crazy to expect him to, a guy that hardly practiced, you know, half of this season so far, but he's obviously a very talented guy that you'll start getting him some ways to affect the football game. Look at running back. I mean, other than Jalen, you got 2 freshmen behind him at running back. Cody Brown, I thought, had a really tough run for a touchdown when his kind of initial progress was stopped, and he kept in there and going, and yet Thad Franklin behind him. We already seen Elijah Arroyo has really been a factor for us at tight end. So it's going to be up and down the line. We're going to have a lot of young guys. Elijah Roberts has been a factor. We talked about Chance Williams on the show over the course of the month. So as I said earlier, we need them all. but we also need them all to play winning football, because they are all talented to make plays, but it's again, protecting the football, helping to take it away, no penalties, those type of things that help us win games.
Coach, I can't believe we've waited so long. Harvey with the pick six. Right? That's what we should have opened up with, it, having a great play. And I watched that numerous times, and he played it perfectly. Watched the quarterback, knew what was coming, and that was something that I'm sure that helped him get that play that happened out on that practice field.
Yeah, almost the exact same play occurred when they went to Tallahassee a year ago. Florida State did the same thing. The offensive tackle was in a really high pass stance, would put Jafari kind of in pass rush mode. And he went to cut him, and Jafari did a great job playing off the cut block. Right. Once he played off the cut block, he was right in the throw lane. Now, the idea of how he was able to tip the ball to himself and secure possession, that was a pretty cool skill. And then to take it all the way. We've been waiting a long time to get a score on defense, and for Jafari to finally get that was a big boost.
Yeah, he looked like a tight end running down the field. On that last drive, can you go through, it was 3rd and 4, what you were thinking at that time? Because you had played it perfectly all the way throughout the game. The 97-yard touchdown drive, you used the 3 timeouts. You have enough time to march it down the field. Clock's going to stop with first downs. Now you're faced with a 3rd and 4, so it would have to be a first down most likely, and a spike, right, or a first down and then one more play.
Yeah, we were 3rd down. Clock was in a running situation, and we had an RPO on. So it was the same play that, if you remember, we actually had a 3rd and 21 when we were down by 11. And threw an RPO to Keyshawn Smith, and he got 21 yards. And then we scored a play later, went for 2. That's how 11 got to be 3 on the 97-yarder. So we're going to come back with the same RPO as something we felt good about the entire game. And it had a shot. But, their guy that made a nice job, he kind of found a crack in the A-gap, got a hand up and batted up the ball up in the air. And then once the ball was up in the air, I got to give our guys credit. They tried like heck to bat it down. And it's crazy. If the ball slips to the turf, we run out there and at least kick a field goal, to tie it. But that's, like I said, the way things are going right now, that's not the way it went. So, got to find a way to manufacture your own breaks during the course of the game. But I liked what we had. I liked what we had set up, and we were playing to score a touchdown and win the game on that play.
Keontae Smith returns, gives you 2 sacks, 6 tackles. He was present in the Alabama game, his first start as a Hurricane, and then was injured, and he's a difference maker.
Yeah, you just feel the speed. You know, he just, it's a different element. I think Wayman's been really a good player when he's been there. I think he's performed well on Saturday as well. But Keontae just gives you something a little bit different, and can give you something different on 3rd down as well. So even a couple of those sacks that we felt like we were missing the last few weeks by not having that speed, agility. Obviously, as we saw, Howell is a great scrambler and a great runner. So to have a guy like Keontae that can close ground that space quickly gives us a different element in our pass rush to create plays there on 3rd down.
Okay, we move forward. North Carolina State is coming up next at Hard Rock Stadium. We'll talk about the Wolfpack as we continue right here on the Manny Diaz Show right after this.
Hey, it's the Good Greek Spiro, and we all know that the most important part of winning a championship is getting there. And when the Miami Hurricanes need to get their equipment to each game, they call Good Greek Moving and Storage. The Miami Hurricanes trust the Good Greek, and so should you. So move like a champ and go to goodgreek.com. Good Greek Moving and Storage, the official movers of the Miami Hurricanes.
Good Greek Moving and Storage, your superhero movers.
I will fight, I always do, until my heart is black and blue. 'Cause I'm not giving up, no, not yet.
I am cancer free.
Even when I'm down on my last
There would be
breath.
no need for any further treatment.